Hey everybody, welcome to Cooking with James. I'm your host James. Today, another simple and delicious cook. We are going to be doing smothered pork chops in the Ninja Speedi. This is going to be a great one that you're going to want to cook all the time. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications so you're notified when my future videos come out. Let's get into the cook. Okay, so first I'm going to show you just what you are going to need to do this. First of all, what I have here is pork loin chops, boneless. If you want to use a bone in, you can absolutely do that. The recipe will be exactly the same. We got one small white onion, 1 cup of all-purpose flour for the seasonings. We got a tablespoon of each garlic salt, onion powder, garlic powder, and actually a half of a tablespoon of fresh cracked black pepper. We are going to be using about a cup or so of chicken broth. We have some oil. I'm using vegetable oil. You can use any kind of oil that you need. And we are going to be making a roux for this, but this is a helper and it makes it a lot simpler and it's so good. But this is the Heinz. It's chicken gravy in a jar, small. It's a 12-ounce jar, so you can pick one of those up. Now if you want to do a brown gravy, definitely do that as well, but like I said, we're also going to be making a roux after the pork chops are cooking, and this is just kind of a bonus. So let's go ahead and get everything prepped up. Alright, so first thing is we have our cup of flour and our seasonings that I showed you. Dump it all in and whisk all that up. Make sure it is well blended. When it's all done, you should be able to see the pepper flakes and everything kind of in it, but make sure to get all that incorporated and then set that aside. Alright, next let's cut our onion. So we've got the everything still on it, skin and everything, so I'll show you how to do this really easy. And just take it like this, give it a little chop, and you can peel the outside off. It just makes it easier to peel off. And then we're going to give this actually a rough cut. We're not going to, if you want to cut them fine, you can, but we're going to go ahead and cut this in half and then just go right down like this on each one of these. And like I said, if you want them finer, go ahead. And then I'm just going to cut it basically into, quarters of the whole onion. So, we're looking at, and obviously I'll take the middle out, but, you're going to want pieces that are, like this, little bigger pieces. So, we'll finish that, take it to the next step. Alright, so we got our chops, and as you can see, these are thick. These are about 1 inch thick. So keep that in mind if you're going to do thin cut. Obviously the time's going to be a little different, but we're going to season this up real quick. Just got some garlic salt, so a little bit of garlic salt on there, and then the flour is so seasoned up, it's going to give most of the flavor. But we're just going to get a little bit on there, some garlic salt, and some cracked black pepper. And I'm going to do this to both sides here. So we'll just do this side, and then I'll let it sit for a few minutes. I'll turn it over and then season the other side, and then we'll take it to the next step. Alright, so we got all of our chops seasoned up on both sides. Now we've got our flour here, and we want to get that flour everywhere, all over everything. And that seasoning from that flour is going to be absolutely amazing. So we'll do that. Got it floured up. I'll set it over here aside. I'll finish these up, and we will actually get you over to the next step and get all this stuff cooking. See you then. Alright, so we're at the Ninja. We are going to open it up, and inside we'll be taking this little roaster rack out. We are not going to be using that for this cook, just the drip pan in there. And the setting that we want to use, actually we'll go ahead and turn the unit on, and we want to be over on the actually on the air fry side, because we're going to be using sear and saute. So we're going to go down to sear and saute. We're going to leave the temperature on high. We're going to hit start, and then I'll take it to the next step. Alright, so the next step, it's only been probably about 15 seconds or so, but the next step is you want to take your oil, whatever oil that you want to use. Now you want to put it in the bottom of the pan here, but you just barely want to coat the bottom. You do not want a lot of oil. So just so it barely coats every little part of the bottom. I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 tablespoons or something like that. It literally just barely coats the bottom. Okay, and then we are on sear and saute on high. We're going to give this about 3 or 4 minutes for that oil to heat up, and then we'll take it to the next step. All right, after about 6 minutes, we've got the oil hot enough to put our floured pork chops in, and just put them in any way that they fit. And what we're going to do is we are actually going to cook these pork chops golden brown, and they are going to be amazing. So here we're going to give these probably about 5-6 minutes, and then we'll give them a flip. We'll see you in the next step. Alright, it has been 8 minutes, and we are going to turn these over, and they are looking good. Look how brown those are. Great. Turn these over, and we're looking for an internal temperature of 145 degrees. So we're going to give this some time to check the temperature, and then we'll be back. Alright guys, so it's actually been another 5 minutes, and we're going to check the temperature and see where we're at with these. Get the middle. These are done, 145 degrees across the board. So we're going to take these out. Set on my plate. Okay, so we got the pork chops out. Now the next thing we want to do is add our onions. We have not changed the setting. We're still on sear and saute on high. We're going to add our onions, and we got a wooden spatula. Now, use whatever you want, but just do not use any kind of metal you don't want to scratch the bottom. So we're going to sear and saute these for about 4 minutes or so, and then we'll take it to the next step. Alright, so we've been searing and sauteing the onions for about 4 minutes, and now what you want to do, they're starting to become translucent. Now what you want to do is that flour that you used for your pork chops, it's got all kinds of seasoning and stuff in there. We're going to add some of that in. It's going to be about a tablespoon. And just get that right across the top there. And then we're going to work this in. We're just trying to thicken all this up. Okay, now after you add this flour, do not stop stirring. You want all of this flour gone. Okay, so after about a minute or so, we're going to add a little bit more. But you want to get that in there, and you want to keep on stirring. So we are going, and you want to get rid of the flour, at least for not too long, but we do have to add a little bit of more flour, probably another tablespoon or so in there. I'm just trying to thicken this up. Stir that around. Alright, from here it's as thick as I like it, and now we're going to go in with some chicken stock. We're going to add probably about a 1/4 cup. Stir that around. Then we're going to heat that up. This will be another minute or two. Alright, it's been about a minute, and we're going to go ahead and add about another 1/4 cup of that chicken broth. And keep it stirring. It's getting thicker and thicker. Alright, so keep on repeating this process with as much chicken broth as you need. It's about another 1/4 cup until everything smooths out. Okay, so we just added the last of the chicken stock. Now with this, you just want to keep on adding until you get to the consistency that you like. And this is looking just like gravy. Looking good. So from here, we're going to add our can of, or a jar of gravy. So our Heinz, go ahead and add that all in. That's going to give us some extra great flavor. Oh, it's going to be so good. Stir that all in until that gets warm. Okay, so we got the gravy right where we want it. It's starting to heat up. Now from here, you just want to give it a last little test for flavor to see if you need to add. First of all, it's the consistency. Got onions in there, but perfect gravy. Those are just onions. And you want to taste it, see if you need to add anything. Let's give it a taste. Perfect. That is perfect. So from here, let's go ahead and add our pork chops back in. All right. So first pork chops going in. Second, third, and fourth. As a matter of fact, I got a little bit of clear juices from the pork chops, which are delicious. Let's put those right in there. Now let's take some of this gravy and get it over the top of all of these pork chops. That is great. That is looking so good. My mouth is actually watering right now. All right, so now what we are going to do, the key, because we're bringing it right to a little bit of simmer, starting to come to a simmer, down it, turn the unit off. I just turned the unit off. Now we're going to close the top, let it sit for about 5 minutes. We'll see you then. All right, we're just gonna open this up. It's been about 7 minutes actually. Just been sitting in here with the unit off, just a last look before we pull these pork chops out. And I got a surprise for you guys. I'm gonna plate it. We'll see you in a minute. All right, guys, so here is what we ended up with. We got the pork chop on top. And so what I did is I actually had some minute rice that I just threw in the microwave for a few minutes. And so you got rice on the bottom. You could do mashed potatoes or whatever you like, but this is a great meal. So enough talking. Let's actually cut into the pork chop. Go right in the middle. Oh yeah. And of course there's tons of gravy, so you can have all the gravy that you want. And that gravy is delicious. Let me get a little centerpiece here. Oh my gosh. Can't wait to try this. So pork chop, cooked perfect. Get some rice. Get some rice. Some gravy. Oh man, that looks amazing. Let's take a test and see what we think. That is absolutely delicious. Well, I can't waste any rice. I'm putting it back in the plate for sure. Don't go anywhere. I got some words to say. I will meet you up top. All right, so we are finished with the cook. And these are some of the key takeaways from this video that if you're going to try this, that you definitely want to do. So number one is when you're cooking the pork chops in the oil and you flip, but the key there is you want to be at 145 degrees. That is very, very key. Set them aside. Then when you're making your roux for your gravy and you put the flour in there, you want to keep stirring. Now you can start with a teaspoon, add a little bit more, but you want to start thickening that up. And once it gets thick, add your chicken broth. Those are the two key things. The pork chops have to be cooked to 145, and in order for the gravy to turn out good, it needs to be smooth. And then when you add the gravy at the end, everything will come together and you will absolutely love this great cook. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe. Make sure to hit that bell for notifications so you're notified when my future videos come out. Please give a thumbs up, drop an awesome comment. With that being said, we'll catch you on the next cook. Thanks for watching.